Live breaking news from KION News Channel.
We begin with that
546.
breaking news in the deadly Southern California boat fire. The Coast Guard said just shortly ago that 25 bodies have been found with 9 people still unaccounted for. The Labor Day adventure turned into disaster when diving boat Conception caught fire, flames trapping 30 people below the deck, while 5 crew members were awake and above deck. They jumped overboard and were rescued by a nearby boat. The Conception then sunk.
I think we all should be prepared to move into the worst outcome.
The passengers on board were experienced scuba divers, and authorities say the Conception's operating company has an excellent safety record. It's known tonight that a Santa Cruz diving company took the boat out for the weekend. KION's Alicia Machado joins us now with what's being done. Victims are expected from the Monterey Bay area. Alicia.
Well, Aaron, Coast Guard crews are still searching for those 9 people that are unaccounted for. But while the search is underway, families and friends of passengers are left wondering. A commercial boat full of divers went up in a massive blaze off the coast of Santa Barbara. The boat, set to return Tuesday morning, now lies at the bottom of the ocean. The families and friends of the 39 people on board are hoping they're okay, including Tobin Ortenblad, a neighbor of Bill Finstad, whose family runs Worldwide Diving Adventures in Santa Cruz. The company offered the Labor Day weekend trip to the northern Channel Islands. Ortenblad shared his worries Monday.
He's a super friendly guy and always willing to share what he has. So I mean, I don't know what to think. Yeah, if he's okay, I hope he's okay because he's such a nice guy.
Bill Finstad's daughter, Christy, a marine biologist, is also feared on board. The Worldwide Diving Adventures website writes that she would be instructing divers on the trip. Her brother and mother spoke to the LA Times and said they've been searching for a long time now. She's extremely strong-willed and very adventurous. If there was a 1% chance of her making it, she would have made it. Authorities are bracing for the worst.
We will search all the way through the night into the morning, but I think we all should be prepared to move into the worst outcome.
Investigators are still trying to determine what happened, with initial reports pointing to a possible explosion.
That could be, it's just speculation, but obviously that could be scuba tanks or propane tanks or other things that could be blowing up in the fire. But there's nothing that would, in the initial broadcast from the vessel, that indicated that there was an initial explosion.
The Coast Guard says the vessel, inspected annually, was in compliance. 5 members of the crew were found alive so far, but many questions remain unanswered for what happened to the passengers. The sheriff's office says it could take some time to identify victims and notify next of kin. Families looking for loved ones can contact the number on your screen there. It's 833-866-5551. For more information, you can contact them. Back to you.
Alicia, thank you very much. A tragic story unfolding there. New at 11, firefighters are working to stop a wildfire in San Benito County from spreading. CAL FIRE says the Antelope fire sparked near Piscinas by Pinoch Road and New Idria Road. It's burned 175 acres as of the last update this afternoon. CAL FIRE reported no containment, but no structures in the area are threatened. The cause is under investigation. Happening right now, a mad dash to stay safe from the powerful Hurricane Dorian. You're looking here at a long line of emergency crews flying down a Florida highway as the Category 4 storm approaches the coast. Dorian has killed at least 5 people in the Bahamas so far after squatting over the islands at a historically strong wind speed for 2 days. CNN's Natasha Chen is on the ground with the damage done and what the U.S. coast is doing to prepare.
Volusia County to our north, where Daytona Beach is, the officials there are telling the public to expect a delay in those tropical storm force winds, more like Tuesday evening. And they say while the eye of the hurricane may be forecasted to fall about 30 to 40 miles offshore from where they are, any slight shift to the west could be devastating.
We are in the midst of a historic tragedy in parts of northern Bahamas.
Hurricane Dorian, a deadly, slow-moving monster, unleashed relentless fury on the Bahamas.
Many homes, businesses, and other buildings have been completely or partially destroyed.
bringing widespread devastation to popular and picturesque tourist destinations, giving the southeast United States a snapshot of the wrath Dorian is packing.
The devastation is unprecedented and extensive.
At least 5 states from Florida to Virginia are in states of emergency. The Red Cross is estimating as many as 60,000 people in those states will need their help. In Florida, it's a race against time. Several hospitals are under full evacuation orders, and more than a dozen counties are fleeing the storm's path.
We are taking action to mitigate harm and ensure the safety of our citizens.
Mandatory evacuations are underway in at least 6 counties near the Georgia coast. Governor Kemp is warning if people there don't leave, they're taking their lives into their own hands.
They will be on their own if first responders are unable to reach them. It's not worth it.
In Martin County to our south, officials there say because of deteriorating weather conditions, they are putting their shelters on lockdown, not taking more people. There are close to 1,400 people already in shelters there. In Fort Pierce, Florida, Natasha Chen, back to you.
Our Weather Authority Chief Meteorologist Dan Sion. What are you seeing now as it approaches Florida?
Yeah, Aaron, it really hasn't moved at all over the course of the day today. This is going to be about a 12-hour satellite loop, and this is Grand Bahama Island here, and this is the eye of Dorian. And we can see it really hasn't moved. It's been sitting in the same spot for the last 12 hours. So there's some good news about that, in that since it's not moving and it's been pulling up some cooler water, even though this is fairly shallow water, it has weakened. So we have seen it weaken down to right now in a high-level Category 3 hurricane. The bad news is it's been doing that over the Grand Bahama Island here, and there are about 30,000 people, at least in the town of Freeport, 25 to 30,000 people, which is, basically been in this eye wall all day long, and that is not where you want to be even for a short period of time. So bad news for them. But as we take a look at Dorian's path, it is expected to start moving a little bit tomorrow. As I mentioned, down again to a Category 3 as of this hour, 125 miles per hour. Dorian should start to move off to the northwest here shortly, and then continue to parallel the Florida coast. That is just the center of circulation, however. You can see this cone is a little bit wider. It can move a little bit farther to the east or to the west, but even with the center 50 to 100 miles offshore, we're still seeing hurricane force winds on the coast of Florida as it goes by tomorrow. So they will be dealing with some hurricane conditions there on the Florida coast. Hopefully it won't get any closer to them and to make that worse. Then we have to worry about the Carolinas as we head into Wednesday and Thursday as this storm approaches up there. Now by that time it should be a weaker system, but still a hurricane is a hurricane and is capable of quite a bit of damage. We'll be keeping a close eye on Dorian, and I've got to look at your forecast locally for the area coming up in a bit.
Yeah, an amazingly powerful storm. As the Bahamas continues to get hit by Dorian, South Florida residents are jumping into action to help those affected. Miami has created 16 donation drop-off locations. City leaders are hoping that the likely near miss for them there will inspire people to donate what they bought in preparation for the storm. The supplies they collect will make it to the Bahamas by Wednesday if weather allows. And a heads up tonight from our major airlines. They're offering waivers to people whose Labor Day plans were interrupted because of Dorian. The waiver allows you to change flight plans without paying fees. American Airlines issued travel alerts for more than a dozen airports in Florida, 7 in North and South Carolina, and 1 in Georgia. Delta, United, and Southwest also have similar offers. Today, new details revealed about the West Texas gunman, including disturbing information from neighbors about his activities. According to the Associated Press, a neighbor said that she was scared of Seth Ader and that he would go out at night and shoot animals. Authorities searched his home and painted the gunman as being in a downward spiral. He lost his job the morning of the shooting, but they don't believe the shooting happened as a result of that job loss. His shooting spree around Odessa in Midland started when he shot mail carrier Mary Granados before stealing her mail truck and continuing to drive and open fire on the public. Mary was on the phone with her sister at the time.
She was screaming, so I was hoping that it could have been just a dog bite, but it wasn't. It was something worse.
Investigators are looking at 15 crime scenes and multiple cars connected to Saturday's attack. 7 people were killed and 23 others wounded, but it's not known how Ater got the gun. Investigators say he failed a background check. They've also not established a motive for the shooting, but they do believe he acted alone. The healing effort in Gilroy takes its next step. Christmas Hill Park, the location of the Garlic Festival tragedy, is opening back up to the public tomorrow. Christmas Hill opens after 8 o'clock, and a moment of silence is planned at 10:30 a.m. This will be the temporary memorial site under the large palm tree on the northeast ranch side of the park. The public is invited to come. To news around the state now, the San Jose Police Union says there is a rising issue with violence against officers there. The most recent incident happened Friday night. Officers were writing tickets for drinking in public and were approached by a group, and that's when things escalated violently. They also say this violence is part of a disturbing trend. So police are asking for tougher rules from the state to help protect them, and they're backing the so-called Back the Blue Act, which would make it a federal offense to assault an officer and increase mandatory prison time for offenders.
We believe it would increase the penalties and create a much greater deterrence.
But critics of the law say it could embolden officers and lead to more cases of police brutality. The union disagrees, pointing to the recent attack on them in the city. The winds continue to howl in the Bahamas as Dorian continues its deadly path. Plus, how safe are your cleaning products? Some Central Coast students ask that very important question, who they're targeting for their research and how they're gathering their data. Plus, some controversial menu items up for sale in the Southwest. What customers and cultural experts have to say about this.